Well, a very good day to you. Of course, I do trust that you are doing well, depending on wherever you're watching us from, and of course, depending on your time zone therein. I'm so glad that you've joined us for these conversations here on, of course, the Candid Talk, Kenya's most comprehensive political analysis show, hosted by yours truly, Evans Okini. And of course, on this important channel of Herman Manyora, I'm joined by Professor. How are you, sir?
I'm wonderful. I'm extremely wonderful.
Definitely.
And I'm thanking God.
As I can see.
I'm thanking God because to be able even just to breathe the way we are breathing like this is good enough.
Okay.
Yes.
Somebody's asking what...
blessing enough.
Somebody is asking what has informed your kind of activeness in the X app of late. Of course, nowadays we've done away with Twitter, and we are now talking about X. Twitter.
What has happened?
So some people are saying you are more active on
no, I'm like that. Sometimes I'm active, then I go off because it's something I do just pastime.
And one was wondering, are you running your social media handles alone, or you?
Of course, you don't expect me to be doing it alone. I'm not a small boy.
Okay.
Yeah, I have people like you to help me.
Okay, definitely. Yes. Here we are, Prof. My big question is today is, do you think that the Mulembe nation is definitely crumbling down? We've seen the arrest of course, the former Kakamega governor, Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya, and of course his subsequent grilling there together with his family members. This, of course, has caused a lot of uproar and mixed reactions among Kenyans, especially people from the Western Kenya. I saw Senator Boni Alwale tweet, and he was definitely in support of that arrest, saying very well that these are people who've stolen from the public coffers. I wonder what your take is on that. Do you think it's witch hunt or political witch hunt, as it was put by the former governor?
I don't know. I don't know. The governor was a governor for 10 years. It is possible he did a good job, which is evident. You can see he's one of the best performing governors during that time.
Okay.
But it's also possible he could have been stealing as he was doing the job. So let those who have the capacity to figure out, do so, and let the law take its own course. But I find it distasteful that his brother, Boni Alwale, can rejoice in the suffering of a brother. No, you don't do that. If your brother is found stealing and people are throwing stones, you just look the other way. You don't, if you can't stop them. And if you know he deserves that, you don't throw a stone yourself. You don't. No, that's not how we do it. Boni and I are from Western. We share a culture, and Boni knows we don't do that.
Okay. When
people are killing your brother, you can't join them in killing them. In Things Fall Apart, there's a very wise old man called Obierika, Chinua Achebe's book. He's the voice of reason. When they are taking Ekemefuna, the ill-fated boy, to be killed in the forest, he tells Okonkwo, please don't touch that boy. He calls you father. In other words, there's a relationship between you and that boy that will make it very improper for you to join the people of the Kemefuna, of whatever they were, I've forgotten the place, in doing what the gods have demanded they do, which is they kill the boy. So Boni Alwale should not be throwing stones at Oparanya. It's not good.
Now, my question would be, Prof, we've found ourselves in such kind of situations, of course, times without number hearing, where we've got leaders who've served before, and when they're facing some sort of cases by the EACC or any other policing body, then we try to play this tribal card. Why do we find ourselves in that kind of situation? Because actually that's what you're doing right now, trying to say that Boni Alwale should actually come to the defense of the former governor.
You are putting words in my mouth.
But that is what people are saying. They're saying outside there that you guys are playing tribal cards.
No, Boni should not come to the defense of Oparanya. No.
So what should he do?
He should not be seen to be rejoicing in the predicament of Oparanya. That's what I'm saying. That's not to say he should come to his defense.
But like any other person, he's got his own right of
opinion. Yes, you have a right even to join people killing your brother. But is it wise to do so? As your mother watches? No. It has nothing to do with whether your brother is right or wrong. It's just that it's not proper. The man who came from the same womb with you. So what I'm saying is, if there is something wrong, there's nothing, nobody stops the ESCC from doing their work. But why do people say this is our person? Because of the manner in which DCI, our courts, the police and ESCC, the manner they work. They don't show seriousness. It's just drama and then the end of the story.
Let's get to that bit of you saying that they do not show any kind of seriousness. Frisking somebody's house and getting in there, searching everywhere for almost, I don't know how long. Does it anyway help these people in getting the relevant information towards any kind of graft, even if it had actually taken place?
Maybe it's just drama. Maybe it's even like scaring somebody. Uparanya wewe ukiendelea maandamano utaona. So next time keep quiet. We want to see you in Kakamega when Raila is in Nairobi demonstrating. It is possible. Why? Because this is the end. You will not hear anything about this thing. I tweeted and told ESCC, looking at your statement and looking what people are saying you have unearthed, this should be an open and closed case. Somebody should be tried in a weekend in jail. But will it happen? 10, 15 years, it will still be there. So why the drama? Why the, then you make people think it is being used for political reasons. Because nothing comes out of it. With all this evidence, they are talking, they collected this, they collected this. See, this man should just go to jail. Why? What is the drama for? What is the drama for? And don't keep saying you don't have prosecutorial powers. No. You must find a way of ensuring that if there are people who have stolen public resources, they go to jail. Even if it is me.
Talk to me about...
Yeah.
Talk to me about what the former governor, of course, said during his media briefing there after he was released from the Integrity Center, of course, there, in saying here that this is now what he termed as political persecution. I wonder whether we are still at that particular moment where the police and any other authority can be used in settling political scores.
They will all say that. They will all say it's political persecution because if nothing comes out of this drama, then when they say so, people believe them. But if you had arrested one and jailed, people know it is serious. So when you talk of political persecution, but nani yako ndani? So and so anakula githeri yako na uniform, kangaroo. But because nobody, all these things end with a drama. Those revolving doors, ESCC. So people then begin to say, this is political persecution. And they're justified to say so because they have not achieved anything. We have not seen 2 governors in jail. And this drama will continue on and on until 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 governors are in a committee. So that they don't form a committee there, we put some in the committee, Naivasha, Shimolatewa, Kodiaga, and Skuza. Skuza mnalima mnapalilia mahindi. The line is from here, it goes all the way, I don't know to where. Line ya mahindi. Ukimaliza moja basi, umekuwa mwanaume.
Whatever fate has befallen, of course, the former governor of Kakamega County definitely raises a lot of questions on the unity of the Mulembe nation. And of course, that has cast a lot of doubt among the people, saying that these people are fighting down. And that is why I began by asking you, do you think that the Mulembe nation, or rather that house, is crumbling down?
Why?
Because the people are saying they are fighting each other.
Who is fighting?
Oparanya is there. Oparanya has been arrested. Boni Halwale seems to be
arrested.
Boni Halwale seems to be celebrating.
Have been arrested. The Luyas have been arrested. If you, in this drama,
you say that Kenyan politics.
Samburus, there's that Samburu man. There is Sonko. There is Babayao. There are many others. There is Ojamong is a Teso. So we are talking about the drama, and then that yields nothing. That does not affect the Mulembe people. You say that politics in this country is heavily political, that is heavily tribal, that is. Yes. So whenever you see some sort of a guy from a certain community being arrested by the
officials or by the police officers, then definitely you tend to expect the other members from that other side to come through for him. But then here is a situation whereby leaders from the western region, even from Kakamega County, that is the home county of the former governor, are also joining in celebrating for his arrest. I mean, don't you think that...
That is childish behavior, I said. You cannot castigate a community because of a few young boys and girls or some mature people behaving in a juvenile way. That does not represent the Luya thinking.
Okay.
I saw Sozi there, standing with the Paranya. Yeah. I saw Eugene there. What Luyas are you looking for?
So are you saying that... But of course, Boni Halwale right now is one of the...
But if John Boni Halwale chooses to behave like a boy, he's not behaving like Luyas. Not all Luyas are boys.
This is one of the greatest voices right now in Western Kenya. How then do you just
many serious men have turned themselves into boys in life and in the world. So if you are a serious person and you turn yourself into a boy, that's your problem.
So you're saying Boni Halwale's sentiments and his stance on the arrest of...
I maintain clearly, and I want to repeat, Oparanya and the Boni Halwale are brothers. It will be juvenile, it will be childish, it will be insensitive for Halwale to celebrate or to be seen to be celebrating. And if you followed him on Twitter, he was happy and celebrating that Oparanya had been arrested. It does not matter whether Oparanya is right or not. It does not even matter whether Oparanya will go in or not. That's not my concern. If Oparanya must go in because he has stolen, of course he will be the first governor. Let him go in.
You're saying that Boni Halwale's stance and the way he behaved towards that arrest is juvenile?
Juvenile. And I will tell him, he's my friend. If he watches this clip and calls me, I'll tell him, no, this is not for tea. This is not for phone. Let's meet. Have a cup of tea, like this. And I tell him, you are behaving in a juvenile manner.
Of course, they've gone against each other back then. They've belonged to different political camps, and yet Boni Halwale is here to say, do you think that perhaps if he goes, he joins actually the...
If something happens to John Boni Halwale, and things happen to all of us, Oparanya will be the first person there.
Definitely.
Manyora will be the first person there. These other people he's working with will come 2, 3, 4 days later.
Supporting Wetangula's, not actually Wetangula, but Oparanya's arrest here, do you then think that it would perhaps affect his political ambition in Kakamega County?
It makes it even very difficult for him to ever get elected in Kakamega. Very difficult.
But they've been in different political camps in the past, and he succeeded. Right now he's the senator of that county.
He wanted to be governor, he didn't become governor. Twice, yeah? So what does that tell you?
Okay.
Tells you it is difficult. He could not beat Oparanya. He wanted to be governor again. He was relegated to senator. A younger man was given the baton by Ruto. He should be looking around and ask himself what is happening in Kakamega County. You don't celebrate the arrest of your brother. No.
You're saying the house is intact.
The Mulembe nation is intact. It's
where brothers are fighting
what
each other.
What the Mulembe nation is looking for is a leader. Period.
Okay.
Yeah. A man to come out.
A house that is united, yet the brothers are fighting against
each
other.
Okay, which brothers? One brother has reduced himself into a boy.
Yeah. So you say that it does not in any way affect the unity of the community at large?
Not at all.
What would you advise
Boni
Halwale, Senator Mtetezi, right now, if at all you want to meet him?
I'll tell him not to see an enemy in his brother merely because they are in two different political camps. Oparanya remains his brother. Tim Wanyonyi, MP for Westlands, he's with ODM, Azimio. His brother Moses Masika Wetangula is with Kenya Kwanza. Do they fight? Have you ever seen Tim Wanyonyi throwing a word at Wetangula? Have you heard Wetangula throwing a word at Tim? That's the way it should be. Yeah. Belong to different political parties. But you always know this is my brother. So Luyas should not be seen to be used by other forces to attack each other. because that's not good for the community.
Well, that is it here, ladies and gentlemen, on this interesting episode of the Candid Talk. Remember to weigh in on our conversation here. What do you think of the Luhya unity? Is the Mulembe nation crumbling down? But of course, you've heard from Professor Herman Manyora here, telling us that the house is intact. Well, we're here to see what will befall the former governor of Kakamega County with regards to the arrest that we saw take place earlier this week. Allow me to stop this conversation at this particular moment, but in case you're watching us for the first time, please do not fail to subscribe to our channel here. See you next. My name is Evans Okinyi.